Hey, West Michigan, Congresswoman Scholten here, back with another episode of Straight Talk with Scholten. Such a busy week, we actually had to do two. So the longest shutdown in American history is finally over after the House voted last night on a deal to reopen the government. I voted against it because it is a raw deal for the American people that does nothing to lower the cost of health care. I talked about the vote more in my last video. We've got a link for you here. Today, I am not here to talk about the past. I'm here to talk about what comes next. Many are asking, what does this mean? So let's get into it. First, what does this mean for SNAP benefits? The White House Budget Office has insisted that this week beneficiaries will see their accounts fully restored within hours of the federal government reopening. I will be watching closely to make sure that happens. The nearly 30,000 Michiganders who work for the federal government will go back to work, and they will receive back pay for the duration of the shutdown. We're also coming up on a busy holiday travel season, so I want to make sure that you are read in on what this means for air travel. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy will have to lift the mandated flight restrictions at 40 airports around the country. He also promised that air traffic controllers will receive 70% of their paychecks within 24 to 48 hours after the government shutdown ends. That deadline is coming up, and as a member of the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, I will be fulfilling my oversight duties to ensure that our hardworking air traffic controllers get what they are owed. Let me be clear, I am glad that federal workers will be getting paid. This shutdown should have never happened. We need to make sure that SNAP benefits continue to flow. I support a bipartisan bill and an amendment that was made to this funding package that the federal government can never, ever use hunger as a bargaining chip again. My Senate Republican colleagues, they dropped a last-minute provision into this bill that made it absolutely untenable to vote for, making it so that if this continuing resolution, when it passes into law, they could potentially be entitled to millions in taxpayer-funded payouts. This involves 8 senators who were investigated for their role in the January 6, 2021 insurrection. 8 senators all voted to shove taxpayer dollars into their own pockets. $500,000 for each time their records were inspected. And reports indicate that these 8 senators will be paid at least $1 million each, but potentially more. At least $1 million guaranteed. Senator Lindsey Graham, Bill Hagerty, Josh Hawley, Dan Sullivan, Tommy Tuberville, Ron Johnson, Cynthia Loomis, and Marsha Blackburn. Remember their names. This is dangerous for our democracy. It is a flagrant misuse of your taxpayer dollars. I cannot and will not support legislation that incentivizes co-conspirators to an insurrection with a taxpayer-funded windfall. And for the big question on this bill that so many are asking, what about health care? This deal also does nothing to address the expiring ACA tax credits that will send insurance premiums skyrocketing. House Leader Jeffries and Whip Catherine Clark have introduced a 3-year extension of the ACA enhanced premium tax credits as a bill, also did it as an amendment, and attached a discharge petition that would force a vote on the House floor. I was one of the first to sign this discharge petition. If it can get 218 signatures, it will force a vote in the House. Now, remember, the Senate also guaranteed as part of a deal for reopening the government that they would have a vote on the Senate floor, but so far no word on that. I believe that these subsidies should be extended in the short term to protect care. But in the long run, we need to do so much more on making healthcare more affordable and accessible. But we need to think bigger about major policy changes. I'm working every day on a small and large scale fix that would lower healthcare costs for you. And I want to hear from you about what are the aspects of your care that are costing so much money. I'm throwing all kinds of ideas out there, again, from small and medium. I had a clean extension of the ACA tax credits, and then I also introduced 2 of my own bills. The Catch It Act, which would help rural health facilities provide better preventative screenings, and my Fair Price Drug Device Act, which lowers the cost of things like insulin pumps and EpiPens. Republicans could have accepted either one of these bills. Again, they are bipartisan, included them into the bill and done something concrete about lowering healthcare costs, but they didn't. West Michigan, I am committed to working for you. We see where the priorities are. And next week, I'll be getting back to Washington again and getting right back to work. Take care.